So, welcome everyone to yet another session of Arts for Life series. Good morning to everyone from this part of the world. Good evening for India and Asia, and good afternoon from whoever is joining from Europe. And today we are going into that deeper understanding with inner reflections on the art of thinking. And it's our fortune as well as honor to have Sister Judy Johnson. We all know her very well and have heard her very insightful sessions. It's again really deep honor, I would say, to have her. For Sister Judy has an the approach of humor and lightness, but with much clarity to enable experience and deeper understanding. So today we'll have Sister Judy for the art of thinking, inner reflections. Sister Judy Johnson works as a facilitator, coach, and consultant in experiential learning, leadership development, and organizational effectiveness. And she also works with government, private, and community-based organizations. And she is known internationally and locally. And she is known for her insight and her ability to go into the depth of a subject in a light and entertaining way. So Sister Judy is the director of Brahma Kumaris in the Atlantic region of Canada. So from everyone here, from the whole team and every participant, Sister Judy, welcome, hearty welcome to our session. And I will also invite Sister Claudia to officially invite you. Welcome here.
Shanti. This is just taken from our backyard.
Thank you, Claudia.
The big plant. I asked the plants, sorry, I need to show this to a very special soul. I need to give this to a special soul. So the plant said, okay, give it my love. The love of everyone. Welcome to our program. Thank you for coming.
Thank you, Claudia. Thank you. Shanti, everyone.
Before you carry on, just want to mention there are a few translations. Please check the translations, 6-7 translations happening. And your talk will be about maybe 40 minutes. If by chance there is any question, maybe for a few minutes we can take up 1 or 2 questions you can address to. And at the end, we'll have a meditation.
Wonderful. Wonderful, Anuben. Thank you. And thank you, Claudia and Manoj Pai and the whole team. Really, such a wonderful team. Always I see the same faces of the translators before, and I think what a gift they have given the world, actually, to be here so regularly. It's lovely. So, and I'm enjoying this series. I'm enjoying listening to the different recordings. I listened to Deepening this week. Wonderful, wonderful. But I think before we begin that, let's just take a moment of stillness together, since the art we practiced last month was the art of stillness. And so let's just be still for a moment together. Beautiful. Shanti. Thank you, everyone. You know, we said when we began the series that the arts require hundreds and thousands of hours of practice, right? To make something artful. And, you know, we can have the basics, but then we have to become a master of the basics. So this particular theme today is one of the basic building blocks of our life, of course, is thinking. And I just want to remind you, we had this, we're using the acronym of ART. This particular, the second week of every topic or every theme is dedicated to the reflection. But just a reminder about the overall point of this was a Brij Mohanbhai quote, that although we as humans have excelled in numerous forms of art, we're still seeking to learn the art of living. So that's why art's for life. We want to make our life artful, right? And it begins with tiny little brush strokes, tiny little switches in our thinking and our awareness. So the overall intention for this series to explore the subtle practices that make our living artful. And today, and we're using this acronym. So an awareness, a realization, and take it with you. So that's what this session, the reflection session, is about. I have for you today 3 experiments. So we're like in the studio of the artist, and we'll experiment with 3 different things. And from that, to then just see what is shifting in my awareness, what realization am I having about this art, and then taking it with you through the month, but definitely until next week when you come back for the workshop. So this week we're focused on thinking. And I listened to Sister Deepening last week, and I took 3 main points from her, which I liked very much. And one of them was that your destination determines your thoughts. So where you're trying to go is going to determine what you're thinking about. So I want to take up a practice for that, an experiment. The other one was your thoughts are an investment. So choose your investment wisely. And the third one was your thoughts can be a gift to the world, to yourself. So I'd like to play with those 3 themes from last week's beautiful talk by Sister Dipti in South Africa, and begin with a little exercise about our own thoughts. So for this, you're going to need a pen and a piece of paper. Could be scrap paper, but you're going to need enough, like 1 full sheet probably, or maybe half a sheet is okay. Let's see. So with pen in hand, paper in front of you, we're just going to begin with an inventory of your thoughts. So I'm going to press the timer, and we will have 3 minutes. And in that 3 minutes, I'm going to ask you to have your pen ready. And anytime a thought arises in your mind, write down 1 word to describe the thought. So for instance, I'm sitting here, I may think, is the sound off? Sound. Yeah, that's it. I'll write sound. Sit again. So we begin by just being so conscious, being inside the silent space of our mind, and just watch what comes up. And every time there's a thought, just 1 word, and then back to silence again. Okay, so it's like a slow motion inventory of the thoughts in your mind now, and maybe regularly. Let's see what comes up for you. I don't know what will come up, but it's just 3 minutes. So a little slice of your day, 3 minutes of your day, and then we'll look at what you've got. So is that clear? So for 3 minutes, just want you, and maybe it's best that you close your eyes, because we know that our thoughts follow our eyes. So not be looking at anything, just be in your own private inner world. And so and you're just going to jot down whenever there's a thought, a quick word. It doesn't have to be clean and neat. You could just scribble, because you want to write fast. It doesn't have to be even a full word, but just catch, oh, there was a thought. Catch the theme. Okay. So everyone ready? We have 3 minutes, and we begin now. Okay, time. Beep, beep, beep. Wow, did that seem long or short? Seemed long for me at a certain point. Okay. Okay. So, and I scribbled. So I kept my eyes closed and I scribbled. So I have a mess of words on my paper. Maybe you do too. I'd like you to count how many thoughts did you have in that 3 minutes? 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay. And how many different themes? So, for instance, I had about 6 thoughts that were about instructions, next instructions I would be giving you. They were each a different kind of instruction, but the general theme was I was thinking about what's next, plans. So I have about 6 of those. So I'm group them together if they have a common theme, okay? And I'm going to call those instructions or planning. So have a look. How many different themes did you have? One, two, three. Okay. So, how many had more than 10 thoughts in that 3 minutes? Between 10 to 15, let's say. I had 11. Anyone have between 10 or 15? Yeah. Okay. Anyone have more than 15? No. Yes, some did. Okay. How many had 5 to 10 thoughts? Oh, lovely. Well done. Okay. And anyone have 1 to 5 thoughts? Is this possible? Maybe, but I don't know. Okay. Okay, great. Okay. And how many had more than one theme? How many had more than 2 themes? How many had more than 3 themes? I had 3. How many had more than 4 themes? More than 5 themes? Oh dear. Okay. Okay. More than 6 themes, Manoj? No, no more than 6. Okay. Yes, Denise, I had that observation as well, that one of my thoughts was like a meta thought. It was a thought about myself. It was an observation. But I put that in my spiritual theme because I also had a thought about God and I had a thought about soul, and I put them in my spiritual theme as well as a meta, like an observation of self. Yeah. And then I had a bunch of instructional. So actually, I only had 2 themes, but 11 thoughts. Okay, interesting. Now tuck this away. A clean sheet of paper or a clean space on the paper, or turn it over. Keep that list for a little bit later, because this is our inventory of now. But moving forward, we heard last week that our destination determines our thoughts, right? So now I'm going to ask you to think about your destination. What do you want to be, or how would you like to feel at the end of your journey and at the end of today? So let's bring it right home, close, practical, immediate. So I'm going to ask you to do 2 columns. And on top of one column, it will say end of today. And the other column, end of journey, which means my destination. Since our destination determines our thoughts. Now let's begin with the simplest and the closest. What would you want to be? How would you want to be? How would you want to feel? What is your spiritual destination at the end of today? So write a list of some key words that would describe how you want to feel, how you want to be, how you want to arrive at the end of this day. Okay. So we have for the end of today, let's see in the chat box some of the words that you would use to describe your destination when you arrive at the end of today. What are some of the words that would be on that list of how you'd like to be at the end of this day? Stable, calm, peaceful, fresh, double light, content. Yes, content was on my list too. Peaceful and powerful, lovely. I had satisfied on mine, like fulfilled. And I had clean, somebody had fresh, Mire had fresh, nice. Grateful, nice. I think I'm only seeing some of these, and some of you are seeing the rest. So some are coming to me. Lovely. Okay. So now let's turn our attention to how do you want to be? How would you like to feel at the end of your journey? So we're on a spiritual journey in this practice of Raj Yoga. Some of us really dedicated to it, some of us partly dedicated, but we're all on our own journey. How would you like to arrive at the finish line when you reach the destination of your ultimate goal? How would you like that to be? So just write down 5 or 6 keywords to describe that. Lovely. So I'll invite you to put that in the chat box as well. So end of journey. End of journey. What would be the, here we go. Okay. Content, perfect, kind, compassionate, enlightened, contented. I'm getting some of these directly to me, so I'll just read them aloud. Complete and perfect angel, content, perfect, complete, very good. Giver, complete, content, that's lovely. Peaceful, nice. Okay, and in sync, aligned, and in control. Lovely. Complete. We have the right mind. Afarishta. Happy. Very nice. Serenity. So serene. Lovely, Anu, to reach the end. Serene. Love that. Okay, we'll just wait for a couple of others if they want to write. So now we have some ideas. Kyati says awakened, ready to go, peaceful, lovely. All your work is done. You're complete. Excellent. Okay. So one of the things that we know about thoughts. Oh, we've got another one there. Touching hearts so they can feel God's love. Beautiful, Hilal. Beautiful. One thing we know, this is kind of the secret of thoughts, and Dipti alluded to it last time. We have to make our destination clear in our mind. So I might have this destination. This is what I want to be, but I'm not. If I'm not, I need to bring it alive. I need to make that destination live in my mind. It can't be archived in a book somewhere, sitting on a shelf in the back room. It has to be alive and vivid in my mind all the time, but let's say every day for sure. So we have to, in order to make our destination clear, we have to make our destination clear and make it alive in our minds if we want it to guide our thoughts. Otherwise, it's a reference book in the library. It won't guide our thoughts. So I have to make my destination alive. And we know that our mind follows a picture. Which is why when we try and transform our bad habits, the things we don't like about ourselves, and we say to ourselves, don't, we might say to ourselves, don't get angry. Don't be lazy. What are the pictures that form in our minds when we say these things to ourselves? We have a picture of lazy, right? And we have a picture of angry, right? And why is that? It's because don't has no image. There's no picture that comes into my mind when I say don't, right? So if I say don't cross the street, what comes into my mind? Crossing the street, right? Which is why we learn as parents to find new ways to speak to our children. Instead of saying, don't do this, we say, make good choices. Be careful crossing the street. Look both ways crossing the street. Stay on this side of the street in the neighbor's yard, right? These create pictures in the mind. Instead, we kind of speak to ourselves. In other words, we use our thoughts to change ourselves. And very often this word don't is a highlight thought. And unfortunately, it has no image. So it doesn't stay in my mind. What stays in my mind are these images and all of the thoughts that go with them. So I'm going to invite you now to take a moment and actually visualize your list. So we'll go into silence here for this, just for a minute. I'm going to ask you just to close your eyes. Well, maybe look at your lists before you do. Just remind yourself of those key words you've written down, how you want to arrive at the end of today and the end of your journey, especially the end of the journey, and we'll bring that into today. Just close your eyes for a moment. I'll ask you to take a deep breath in. We can use the art of stillness here. I just still the energies of my body. I still the energy of my mind, which we know is just full of thoughts. The mind is actually still. The mind is like a screening room for the soul. But what's projected on the screening room of the mind are all my thoughts, all day. So instead, I'm just going to come back to the awareness of myself as a soul sitting in the mind. This is the faculty I use to think, to create thoughts, to see thoughts, to feel thoughts. I'm going to ask you to visualize on the screen of your mind in front of you what you look like at the end of this day. So visualize yourself getting ready for bed. And hopefully you're brushing your teeth. Maybe you're brushing your hair, but you've got your night clothing on, your pajamas, and you're getting ready to bed, and you're just doing a bit of a scan of your day. But you're sitting there with the feelings that you've written on this list. See it. How do you look? What is the look on your face? What is the vibration you are exuding? What are the thoughts like in your mind and the energy of your mind? What is it like at the end of this day as you visualize yourself getting ready for bed? Imagine yourself content and satisfied, peaceful and happy. All of the things you wrote. And now with an inner smile, a bit of an inner check mark. Check. Okay, we've got that. Now I'll ask you to step back into the screening room of your mind, and I'd like you to visualize, create pictures of what you look like at the end of this destination. So the end of this, maybe not this birth, but the end of your spiritual journey. So you've arrived at your goal, at the aim you have for yourself. You've arrived there. What does it look like? What do you look like? How do you speak? How do you move your body? What is the vibration that comes from you that others experience? What is the look on your face? And what is the look in your eyes? Hold that image for a moment in your mind and feel it. What does it feel like? Breathe in and you can open your eyes. Could you feel it? Could you see it? A little bit. For some of us, we feel. For some, we see. It's all happening in the mind. We're creating the experience in the mind. Yes? Could you see? Could you feel? Could you experience it? Okay. Yes, I can see it and feel it. Lovely. Okay. So now these are the thoughts we want to invest in, correct? If our destination determines our thoughts, then we have to be very selective about the thoughts we want to invest in. So I'm going to ask you to write down 2 or maybe 3 thoughts of what you want. We know what you don't want, but what do you want? The thoughts you want to invest your energy in, the way you want to be in the future, the way you want to be when you achieve your destination. We've created a vision of this in our mind, and now I'm going to ask you to write 2 powerful thoughts that affirm that destination, or 2 powerful thoughts. They're like affirmations, but they're statements of what you are like when you arrive there. Okay, even if you can't fully feel it, we're going to create 2 thoughts we want to invest our energy in. Okay, so you can look at your list, or you can take from the experience and the visualization to create 2 powerful statements, 2 powerful thoughts. And I think it's probably good if they start with I am. Okay, so we'll just give everyone a minute to do that now. Does everyone have 2 positive thoughts, 2 thoughts worth investing in because they represent your destination? And I'll invite you to put them in the chat box if you would like, or put one of them in there. And this is mostly for your benefit, because when you write it and make it external, put it into your body through typing, the thought is now become practical, so it's becoming a sanskara. You're doing something with the thought. So this is for your benefit that you type it. We'll all get to see, and we'll be filled with powerful thoughts, which is a wonderful investment for all of us as well. But for you, okay, so I invite everyone to put one of your 2 thoughts in there. These are beautiful. Okay. We'll invite everyone to take a moment just to put one of your powerful thoughts. Beautiful. Manoj, we're waiting for yours.
Well, I thought I wrote it, sorry.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Yes. Okay, if anyone else would like, feel free to put it in. Again, this is as much for you as it is for the rest of us, because you've now you've made it practical. Even in this very simple way, you've added power to your thought by sharing it. Yes? Okay. So this was the second theme. So the first theme last week was your destination determines your thoughts. And we understand that the mind follows a picture. So we made a picture of our destination. And from that, now we're drawing the thoughts we want to invest in, because thoughts are an investment, because we know thoughts are just the energy of consciousness. So I can choose slowly over time what I'm learning in Raj Yoga. I learn at the very beginning that I can choose my thoughts, but I don't always have the power to do that. Right? We learn the SOS, stop, observe your thoughts, and steer to the positive. But I don't always have the power to steer. It's not power steering. Sometimes it's that hard manual steering, and you hardly turn the steering wheel to get away from a negative thought and into a positive thought. So we are gaining more power, but I can choose which thoughts to invest in. I will suggest you have chosen the two most important thoughts for you to invest your energy in. And this will be a lovely practice for the rest of the week, to invest your energy in those thoughts. So whether that's first thing in the morning in your early morning meditation, whether it's in the evening, whether it's written by your bed, so it's the last thoughts before you sleep, that keeping this alive in your mind, the destination, helps you invest in your thoughts. But you have to know which ones to invest in. I think now the last theme is to let your thoughts become a gift. So these are a gift for me, these thoughts, right? But we also understand that if I'm focused, if I'm investing in high quality thoughts like these that I've just created, vibrationally, that just becomes a gift for the world, because I'm carrying a higher energy with me, because my thoughts carry energy, all of them. And we all know from the basic introductory course of Raj Yoga that, thoughts they carry different energies. Some thoughts are just neutral work thoughts. Some thoughts are negative and they take me down. And some thoughts are positive and they give me a lift. But most of our thoughts are waste. So we learn meditation so that we can manage. It's like a waste management program for the mind. I'm wanting less of the waste thoughts, more of the positive thoughts. We know that. But in order for even a positive thought is a gift for the world. If I could increase the number of positive thoughts I have on a regular day, I'm already creating a vibration that can be a gift for our world, for those around me. But even more important, if I fill my thoughts with God's power, then a positive thought becomes a pure thought, which then becomes a powerful thought and a divine thought. It's almost as if God's energy is flowing through my thoughts. So a positive thought that I have, when filled with divine power, it increases the impact of that thought, which is why we practice the go into the soul, go up to God, and then go out to the world. So it's an in, up, out flow that we practice in our meditation. And this is all thought energy. It's thought energy. That's the significance of our thoughts. This is the art of thinking, is to match my thoughts to my destination, to invest in the thoughts that will matter, and to fill those thoughts with divine power. So they become a gift to the world. So I'm going to invite us now before we close is just to take a moment to close your eyes, and together we'll just hold our two powerful thoughts. You might want to say those to yourself in your mind. And you can read if you need to, but say them slowly and clearly and carefully in your mind, your two powerful thoughts. And now I would like you to visualize those thoughts that are in your mind floating upwards as if you are giving them to God. These are the two thoughts that matter to me because they reflect my destination. And magically, I'd like you to imagine that those two thoughts are being filled with God's power. So whether you see those thoughts filled with light, whether fairy dust or sparkling, whatever works for you, but see those thoughts. They're kind of midway between you and God. And God's light is shining down, God's power, God's energy is shining down. And those thoughts then come back into your mind full of divine power, which means they are guaranteed to manifest at some time, in some way. We don't all know the journey to get there, but that's your ultimate destination. So I'd like you just to hold these thoughts and hold the energy of these thoughts. Feel God's power in your thoughts. Feel the confidence and certainty that a divine thought gives to you, the soul. And then visualize that energy going out to the world as a gift. Although it is your experience, this vibration will awaken others to something higher than what they aim for now. Something divine, something lovely. It will awaken their own aspirations. Just hold the power of that thought, your thoughts, filled with divine energy, and out to the world. Om Shanti. We call this Mansa Seva. And this is very much where we are turning our attention as the Brahma Kumaris worldwide is more and more and more to use our thoughts to serve. But they can only serve, be a gift to the world if they are first positive, second reflecting my destination, and third filled with power. So I'm going to ask you to end the session now, asking 3 reflection questions. The first one's about awareness. So given your experience today, what new awareness do you have about your thinking? So jot down your first thought. What new awareness has come to me as a result of this morning or this session? New awareness about your thinking. Anyone feel free to put in the chat box if you like, but this is mostly for you at this point, and just time-wise, but feel free to share at any point if you'd like in the chat box. This is really for you to draw, benefit from these little exercises. Okay. And the second reflection question is about realization. So what new awareness do I have about my thinking is the first one. Second one is realization. What would it be like or feel like to master the art of thinking? Oh, wouldn't that be amazing? Can you feel it? Wouldn't that be amazing? So what would it feel like? What would it look like to master this art of thinking? And what to you now is most valuable about your relationship with your thoughts? I feel like I became an investment banker during this hour. I feel much more intent on only those that are worth, that are valuable, those thoughts that are valuable. Oh, lovely. Raina Ben, your every thought is a blessing for the world. Lovely. Okay. And so take a moment just to think about, what's most valuable to you now about your relationship with your thoughts, because you, the artist, are using your thoughts to create, to make them into an art. Okay. And the last question before I turn it back over to the team, take it with you. So that's the art, the awareness, the realization, and the take it with you. So what is one action or practice you will take with you this week before you come back to the workshop? But certainly it could be for the entire month of this art of thinking, because it will serve you for the rest of your life if you get good at it this month. What's one action or practice you will take with you this week to make your thinking more of an art? So remember, I asked you just to, I'm going to use these two powerful thoughts every morning before morning meditation for the next week. That'll be my practice, and we'll see what effect that has. I'll draw your attention to that inventory list we had at the beginning, and just have a look at the thoughts on that list and compare it to the latter thoughts you wrote, your two columns and your two powerful thoughts, and just see what you notice there. What's the difference between the two set of thoughts? I know mine's pretty different. My first thoughts are pretty mundane, and my latter thoughts are much more. So it definitely demonstrates the range of thoughts we could have in our head, our mind at any given time, doesn't it? So invest wisely this week and forevermore. And Om Shanti.
Thank you so much, Sister Judy. Yeah, a lot of work, but but the realization is that we have the power to really shift. I love that, how you said the steering, the power is in our hands. That's what you made us realize. So we'll practice it. And before we move on to the meditation, I would request Sister Claudia. Thanks.
Shanti was very deep. I always think about how important thoughts are, But when we go deep like that, we kind of realize, yeah, bring our awareness to be more careful, actually, because our future depends on our thoughts. Our present depends on our thoughts. So be more careful. It was a quite nice. The hour just passed by very quick. So
I know. Yeah.
thank you for being with us and help us to explore this very powerful, which is the power of the thoughts. Thank you. Thank you.
So I'll do the announcement. Brother Manoj, will you do the announcements?
Yeah, sure, thanks. So with this, let me just go on to the announcements. And once again, thank you so much, Sister Judy. And we're getting ready now with Sister Judy's another pal, another mate who has written this book as well. So the next time we'll have, which will be obviously, it's almost a month from now, the third art, and it's a beautiful art, the art of refreshing. As someone said, refresh in between. So it will be the next art, and she'll be doing the inner reflections after the talk. And that talk would be first week before on 10th of May with Brother Eric. So we're having all the Canadians rocking this time, so it is good. We started with on to South Africa, and then now we are in Canada. So, and I wanted to, I mean, I asked Brother Eric whether we should do it as a dialogue or whether with some other. So he said, whatever you all prefer. But he said, in the depth, if we want to go, it's good to have as a solo talk. So therefore, it's good to go in the depth. So we'll have this art of refreshing. And let me just take you all to the next thing which we'll be having the next Saturday. As Sister Judy already said, that we are doing this workshop. And we are just trying to see how to make it more interactive with you all. You all can also send us your comments and feedback, because after having the talk and these inner reflections, we try to revise them, but we don't want to like just keep on and on and on going, like speaking on that. So we want your things to come out as well. So yeah, let us know. So we'll try to frame a few exercises and have this workshop next time, along with these inner reflections and Sister Dipti's talk. So please let us know. Please feel free to give your feedbacks. And with this, I'll just stop sharing the screen and over to Sister Judy for the closing meditation. Thank you.
We need a picture.
Yeah. Before that, we'll have a picture. That is very much people look forward to. Let's have the shine. After really going deeper into self-realizations, the shine is brighter. I got the photo. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Over to you.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you. I think the value, we had the series on values and now on arts, but, there's something to be said about coming together as a community and sustaining a community over all the years. The themes change, the approach, but the reality is we have a beautiful community here who enjoys coming together to learn together, So I think that's the huge success of this. So congratulations to the team and to everyone who continues to come, because this is precious, actually. So with that thought, the thought of how precious, the thought of gratitude for this gathering, let's just pull ourselves inwards to that silent space behind your eyes. And as our beautiful Daddy Ratan Mohini has been teaching us this week, even though she's gone, been teaching us through this beautiful class that I, the soul, am more subtle than my thoughts. So feel it if you can, that you, the soul, the creator of your thoughts, you are more subtle than your thoughts. The thought is an expression from the soul, but you are the creator. So just feel that behind every thought you have ever created is that beautiful, subtle being who is now reclaiming the right to make only beautiful thoughts, only powerful thoughts, only pure thoughts, and only divine thoughts. And God is my greatest supporter, my biggest fan, and my number one helper to create powerful thoughts. So I take help from God. I take energy from God, and I fill my thoughts with pure spiritual energy as a gift for the world. Om Shanti.
Shanti, thank you so much, Sister Judy. You're taking wealth, the subtle soul. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.